Hey everybody, it's Joshua again. So this week we're going over the social justice and cultural humility for our vlog. And so what I wanted to talk about in the first area is cultural humility, why it's important in counseling. So first of all, I understand that I'm a white, cisgender, well-off white male Christian, and so because of that, I may not understand what others are going through, their struggles, generationally or otherwise. And so, what social justice and in cultural humility do is they help our clients realize that we're here for them. We're here to meet them where they are in the situation that they're in and not to make assumptions. And I think this goes to what Sydney Shaw was talking about in the podcast this week in strengthening a therapeutic alliance, and how we've already learned how important that is for overall client wellness. There's a couple verses I wanted to highlight today. So the first verse for cultural humility I wanted to highlight was John chapter 4. It's verses 7 through 30. And this is the woman of Samaria, the woman at the well. And as you know about the story, she was a Samaritan woman, and the Jews really had no dealings with them at the time. It was the cultural differences of the two. And so I wanted to read a couple verses, not the whole thing, but the verse 9 says, "Therefore the Samaritan woman said to him, 'How is it that you, being a Jew, ask me for a drink, since I am a Samaritan woman?' For the Jews had no dealings with Samaritans." And it kind of goes to what I was saying, is the Jews really didn't have any work with Samaritans. They didn't talk to them. They didn't have anything to do with them. And Jesus transcends that. And I think this is highlighted even more in verse 27, where it says, "At this point his disciples came, and they were amazed that he had been speaking with a woman. Yet no one said, 'What do you seek?' or 'Why do you speak with her?'" I think, again, it goes back and highlights that, and really goes to show that Jesus didn't really come to start some new religion. He came to bring the kingdom. So in my next verse that I wanted to highlight is 1 Corinthians 9:19 through 23. And this is where Paul is talking to the Corinthians about speaking to others and how we deal with individuals either in the church or outside the church when we're preaching the gospel. And Paul talks about being all things to all people. And I wanted to highlight especially in verse 22. So he says, "To the weak I become weak, that I might win the weak. For I have become all things to all men, so that I might by all means save some." And I think this is really important because it goes to the heart of cultural humility. Paul never, even though he was apostle, he was there to speak on God's behalf and be his messenger. Paul never looked at himself as better than anyone else. He looked at himself as an equal member with other people. And then I think the last verse I wanted to highlight was Galatians 2:11 through 14. And this story is where Paul actually condemns Peter or Cephas. And in this verse, Paul is talking to him about the traditions of the Jews when he's speaking to Gentiles, or the other way around. So especially in verse 14, where Paul says, "But when I saw that they were not straightforward about the truth of the gospel, I said to Cephas in the presence of all, 'If you, being a Jew, live like the Gentiles and not like the Jews, how is it that you compel the Gentiles to live like Jews?'" And I think this goes back to what Paul was talking about in Corinthians, is that we have a responsibility to meet people where they are. We may have our own traditions, just as the Jews had traditions, and whether it was beards or tattoos and other things, we have to meet the client where they are and not make presuppositions about what we believe or what we believe they should be doing or not doing. And so as far as my two different areas, so the way in which I want to demonstrate cultural humility is by deepening my self-awareness. I kind of talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but I want to seek first to understand the client. And I think this hits to the first competency of the social justice competencies, multicultural and social justice competencies, is counselor self-awareness. It's really important for us to be self-aware of who we are, what our privilege may be, and so that way we can better understand our clients. And with that said, as far as engaging in social justice, after kind of looking through the book and really thinking about it, I think the one area that I can engage, that I think I can improve on the most, is being globally literate. And so this goes to kind of understanding other cultures and nationalities. It's really important that I learn about other people. As I said before, seeking first to understand rather than making assumptions about other people and how their actions or how their traditions or cultures may be contributing to the problem. I can understand them and where they are, so we can build that therapeutic alliance and find a way moving forward. And so that's all for this week. I look forward to hearing from you all, and see you next time.